That was the original post. I know it's my choice and I can say no, but it seems like everyone else doesn't agree with me right now. I'm a 26-year-old man, and I didn't really know this woman that well when we met on a dating site. Her description said she was single and 35 years old. She never told me she was married. For 4 months, we went on a few dates before she told me she wasn't interested anymore. It turned out that she had to leave because her husband was becoming suspicious and she needed to end the relationship. But after a few months, she called me again and told me she was pregnant. Since we had just slept together not long ago, she told me everything. Her husband still didn't know because she needed to find out first who the father was. The prenatal DNA test showed that I am the father of both of her babies. After that, she had to tell him, and it was a waste of time. So he could talk to me. He called me a lot. She told him I didn't know she was married, which made him leave me alone. She lied to both of us. They seem to be trying to make things work, but here's the catch. Her husband wants me out of the picture totally and is ready to adopt my child if I give up my parental rights. If I don't leave their lives, he's going to divorce her and take their 2 kids. That's the only thing he wants. That's something I'm not sure he can do, but she begs me to do it, or their family will fall apart. This is my child, too, and I want to be a part of his or her life, but neither of them is. All of these problems are because I said I wouldn't. She called me several times to tell me how badly this is affecting her family. Her kids are upset and do not understand why her husband has to leave them temporarily until this condition is met. She feels bad about what she did to them, but she says she wants to make things right and make their marriage work if I could just do this. She also thinks it's a great deal for me because I won't have to raise this child or pay for anything. That doesn't make sense to me. I want to be a dad to my son, but what I want hurts everyone else, like her kids. Though my close friends know I want to do what's best for my child, they think I should stay out of this mess because it will always be a part of my life if I stay involved. And my son might have a good life if her husband is willing to accept him after birth. No one else in my life thinks it's a good idea for me to be involved with my son, and I'm not sure if it's really that bad. I don't know what to do because she's due in 2 months. Am I the jerk? Read the top comments before reading the update. They said, not the a-hole. Get a lawyer. And I think you should also ask our relationships. Being involved in your child's life is your right, and a lawyer can help you figure out what those rights are. Because she lied to you. She set herself up for a bad marriage. That's not a good enough reason for her to cut you off from your child's life. It could be illegal, too. You didn't break up her family. She did. She needs to take responsibility for what she did. To be honest, her husband might never forgive her and hurt the baby out of anger. Write down all of your texts and voicemails and don't take any calls or texts. A lawyer might be able to show them that bothering you is a possible sign of paternal alienation. Her family is being hurt very badly. She told me on the phone several times. I'm sorry, but she hurt herself. Not the a-hole, especially since all she had to do to keep quiet and this wouldn't blow up in her face. Wife to OP. I want to end the relationship because it's not working out. Honey, the wife told her husband, we're pregnant. By asking for a paternity test, she literally made this problem even worse than it was before, which she created by lying. Not the jerk. Because you are only responsible for that child, no matter how bad everything is, you are entitled to things because you didn't lie or cheat. It's possible that the husband will hate your son and the marriage will end anyway. How will you feel then? She is in charge of her husband and family, not you. You are in charge of your child and are the only one who can decide what is right, not the jerk. Since I last posted this, a lot has happened. By a lot, I mean I became a dad. Even with all the trouble, my son is healthy and beautiful, the most beautiful baby I've ever seen. He's really been one of the best things that has ever happened to me. Thank you to everyone who helped and supported me during this time. It felt good to know that I wasn't to blame for what happened, and that I could say no to my ex's requests, no matter what other people thought. A lot of you told me to talk to her about moving things around so that I could ask for full custody, instead of being cut out if her husband didn't like me being there. It was a great idea, and I feel stupid that I didn't think of it myself. What happened was that I chose to try to get in touch with her husband again, because he had been refusing to talk to me the whole time. To be honest, I only wanted to try to talk to him one last time. He agreed to talk, and I was shocked to learn that he had changed his mind about taking the baby 2 months ago, before I even made the post. He said he'd take her back and adopt my son if I wasn't involved, but he changed his mind because he didn't want to raise someone else's child. It turned out she was lying when she said he still had this condition. It was all part of her plan to fix things, even though he was still planning to get a divorce. He agreed with me that she was doing something wrong because he was also mad about it. I did get a lawyer involved and talked to her again after he did. This time, he pretty much told her he would never take her back, no matter what she did. That helped her understand that attempting to block my entry would not yield any results. I brought up the idea of full control to see if she was interested, and she said yes. Going through a breakup and having my son full-time made no sense. She doesn't even have her own place. He moved back in with them and the kids, and she left in the end. After my son was born, I was able to prove paternity with the help of my lawyer. This way, I would be legally recognized as his father instead of her soon-to-be ex-husband. He lives with me full-time now, but she still stops by to see me. After getting divorced, her life is a mess right now, and she's still mad at me about it. Even though things aren't perfect, I'm so glad I have my son. Holding him for the first time made all the hard times worth it. It is stressful to do most of it by myself, but I don't regret how things turned out, so thanks for your help and support. I felt like I was doing something wrong when I couldn't see a way out of this. It made a huge difference. What people said most about the update, well done and congrats. That woman is not someone I would want to raise my child. She's mad at you even though it's all her fault. Does she pay you alimony? She pays support for her kids. Yes, I've learned not to take responsibility for things that aren't my fault. That makes it easier when she tries to make everything seem like my fault right now. That sounds like a great plan for becoming a dad. I meant to say that you are a great dad. It's great that you will always be in your little boy's life. He will do very well with you. Thank you for your help. Being a parent is a great honor, and it can be hard at times. But it's worth every tear and long night. Good job, Dad. Taking care of a child is a wonderful thing to do. Wishing you the best from another dad who isn't with the mom. Thanks, it hasn't been easy, but my little man makes it worth it. He's made my life so much better. Good job. This girl is crazy for being mad at you since she cheated on her husband. I couldn't stop laughing at how stupid she was. My cousin's wife told me that my daughter isn't her husband's daughter because she's white. Am I the jerk for getting mad at her? Since my daughter was born, people have said mean things to me because of the color of her skin. Like my grandmother, she's white, blonde, and has the greenest eyes I've ever seen. I'm 24 years old and white, but my hair and eyes are dark. My husband is 31 years old and black. My family knows she is my husband's because we have 2 DNA tests that show it. But my cousin's 22-year-old wife thinks we're not telling the truth, and that she is actually the daughter of someone else. That's why she came to our house to bring my daughter a gift for her first birthday. The other day, she asked me if her dad sent her a gift and if he was coming to celebrate with us while we talked. She told me she was talking about her real dad when I asked what she was talking about. I told her it was rude of her to say those things and that it wasn't her business to know who my daughter's dad is. We are family, she told me, so I didn't need to feel bad if her real dad isn't my husband. I could trust her. Of course, I got mad and told her to leave my house. I also told her she wasn't part of my family, and I didn't want to see her again. I didn't care that she said sorry. I told her to leave, and she did. She told my cousin everything because he called me later to say that she still doesn't get why my daughter is so white when her dad is black. She thought that we were all lying to her because she was new to the family and just wanted to get along with me, and she was sorry. My country is mostly white, so I should understand her because many people here don't know much about genetics. Well, I get it. But I responded that way because it hurt to know that someone close to me feels that way about me. It also made me wonder if anyone else in my family also believes that my daughter is not my husband's. I may have overreacted, but am I really that tired of this? Am I the jerk? To the people at the top, not the a-hole. When people of different races get together, they don't just turn white. They get a wide range of skin and eye colors. This is how the genetic lottery works. Children of mixed-race parents can be darker than one parent or lighter than the other parent. Your friend needs to learn more about how genes work. To be honest, I come from a place that is pretty homogeneous and mostly white. I don't know of any mixed-race partners, and even though I know a bit about genetics, I still wouldn't say what is or isn't possible when races mix. What I do know is that it's so rude to lie like this, no matter what your thoughts are. What the heck? It's okay. Just tell me you lied. Please tell me that you didn't cheat. What the heck? It's one thing to be ignorant, but acting like that is way worse. Okay, so here's the thing. Even if your daughter isn't physically your husband's, and I know she's just saying this to make a point, he is still her father, and that's all anyone else would ever need to know. You can't act like a jerk about something just because you don't know much about it. He called me to say that she still doesn't get why my daughter is so white when her dad is black. Karen, you can't just ask someone why they're white. Not the jerk. Even I don't understand why he thought that was okay. He should have said sorry for his wife's bad behavior. The last story is about my ex-girlfriend. Would it be rude to tell her she has 2 more weeks to pay me back before I call her parents and take her to small claims court? For my 25th birthday in August, my ex-girlfriend of almost 3 years, 24 years old, and I moved abroad to get our MSCs. I got a job right away. But she didn't. If you work about 16 hours a week while you're in school here, the state will give you a pretty big grant every month. So getting a job is very important. After being here for 2 months, she began cheating on me in November 2019. I stupidly let the first one off the hook, and we made up. Around February 2020, she asked me to take care of or lend her half of the cost to rent food, etc., because she was running out of money from home. I concurred. A friend told me in April that she had slept with 2 more guys since January. That's when I found out. After I broke up with her, I got checked for STDs. She told me she'd pay me back right away when I asked about the money. I was owed about $300 by her. She sent me love messages on many platforms, calls, texts, Instagram, emails, etc., for the next 4 to 5 months. I just stopped talking to her. She was nice. She knocked on my door for 30 minutes straight at 4 a.m., tried to keep other girls away from me in different ways, etc. I got in touch with her in August. It's been 4 months. When are you going to start paying back the money you owe? She said I was being too demanding of the money, and she can barely afford to eat. I told her she might want to pay me back first before getting things like musical instruments that aren't necessary. She responded, "Music is very important to me." Right. To be clear, she got a new bed, a bunch of instruments, an iPhone, supposedly for work since she wasn't working at the time, a new laptop, and a 32-inch TV during this time. People in my dorm group, on social media, in photos she sent me, in common classes, and other places, have told me this. After I had a big accident in October, she called to tell me she got a job and would be paying me back in 3 parts, $550, $400, and $350. She only sends me $400 when the day comes. It looks like her taxes were not done right. I agree, it did happen to me too. But they told me that the payments would keep coming. It was strongly suggested that they would come every month. Nobody has talked to me or sent me any money since then. That's right, the fee for our new dorms is $2,400 USD. I don't think she has a job. About a month ago, I could have lived without the $900 that was still owed to me. But I'm in college. I think that's a lot of money. I broke up with her about 9.5 months ago. Would it be rude to tell her she has 2 weeks to pay back the rest of the money? Then I'd text her dad to try to get her to pay off her bill. Her family has a lot of money. They've likely been there for her since April of last year. I'm going to take her to small claims court if that doesn't work. Thank goodness we kept track of everything we owe each other for years in an app that does that. Legal help tells me I have a very good chance. Now for the most important comments, you shouldn't even warn her. Do it now. If she keeps coming over at 4 a.m. and keeping other girls away, you should call the cops. With that, you'll show her that she can't play with you. Because you'll cut her off quickly and severely. No joke, this guy still lets her play him like a fiddle. Take a deep breath and do. Sid, why not try it, not the jerk? Get that cash. It took me years to get the money my ex-boyfriend owed me after a time like that. If you did, you were the a-hole. It's clear that she agreed to pay the money because you've given her many chances. Give her a little more than 2 weeks. It will be easy for her and her parents to figure out their money if they are getting paid every month. It's polite to do that, but it could also help you show that you went out of your way to give her chances if the case went to small claims. I'm sorry to hear that she cheated on you, man. I was there. It's very bad. The faster you get rid of her, the better. If you go to her parents, you'll look like a jerk. They have nothing to give you. You wouldn't be a jerk if you went to small claims court with her. But is it worth the trouble? I think what they want is for the girlfriend's parents to put some pressure on her so they don't have to go to court. The parents wouldn't pay straight away.